Solving your debt isn't about finding more money. It's about understanding why you lost it in the first place. If you're someone who feels overwhelmed by debt, constantly stressed, and unsure how you even got to this point, then you are in exactly the right place. And you're not alone. According to the Federal Reserve, as of late 2024, Americans carry a record $1.13 trillion in credit card debt, with the average household owing almost $10,000. Over the next few minutes, you are going to gain the one tool you need to stop the cycle. A simple, guided worksheet that helps you diagnose the true origin of your debt so you can finally begin to solve it. Because if you don't take the time to understand the root cause, and I'll show you exactly how to uncover it, you are destined to repeat the same mistakes, and that feeling of being trapped will only get worse. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too simple. I need a complex budget or a loan. But the truth is, all those tools fail if you don't fix the underlying issue first. That's why today, we're not talking about complex spreadsheets or confusing financial jargon. We're talking about self-awareness through a proven framework, and I've turned it into a free, downloadable worksheet you can start using today. Let's begin by looking at what debt is really costing you. We tend to think of debt in terms of numbers on a statement, interest rates, minimum payments, total balances. It's easy to see it as just a math problem. But what's the real cost? Think about the arguments it causes with loved ones. The sleepless nights, the feeling that you're hiding a part of your life. Does that sound familiar? That constant, low-grade hum of anxiety is debt's true price. The reality is, debt is not just a financial issue, it's a life issue. As you can see from the words on the screen, the emotional costs, the anxiety, the conflict, the shame, often feel heavier than the numbers on a statement. Acknowledging this emotional weight is the first step to wanting to be free of it. Let's be direct. For many people in this country, excessive spending has become as addictive as any other vice. It provides a temporary high, a brief escape, but just like any addiction, it eventually takes control. So looking at the spending control scale on the screen, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Where do you fall on this spectrum? Are you in control of your spending, or is your spending in control of you? The good news is that this is a learned behavior, and anything that can be learned can be unlearned. The key is to stop seeing it as a personal failing and start seeing it as a pattern that needs to be broken, which begins with having a plan. A detective can't solve a case without evidence. In your financial life, your spending history is that evidence. The first step in our diagnosis is to simply track where your money is going. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds tedious and maybe a little scary. You might not want to know the truth, but how can you possibly create a plan for your future if you don't have an accurate map of where you are right now? This is not an exercise in shame. It's an empowering act of discovery. Think of your income like this pie chart. Right now, there's probably a large slice labeled unknown. By honestly tracking your expenses, you are taking back control and giving every dollar a name. Think back to a time when you were able to live on your salary without borrowing. I have a friend who was doing just fine until she decided to put just one vacation on a new credit card. It seemed harmless, but that one harmless decision opened the door. It made borrowing feel normal, and soon small treats turned into bigger ones, and the balance spiraled. Does that story or some version of it resonate? What was your moment? Was it a new car you couldn't afford? A period of unemployment? A seemingly innocent credit limit increase that felt like free money? Identifying that single flashpoint is incredibly powerful. It's the moment on this timeline graphic where the stable line breaks and begins its downward spiral. It's not about placing blame. It's about understanding the cause so you can finally treat the symptom. We've walked through the process. We've acknowledged the true cost of debt. We've looked at the addictive nature of spending, and we've laid out the 2 steps to diagnose the problem, tracking your habits and finding your trigger moment. You now have the framework to understand exactly how you got here. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? You can ignore it and inevitably end up right back where you started, trapped in the same cycle. Or, you can embrace this awareness as the single most powerful tool you have. Understanding your personal debt story is the foundation upon which all other financial solutions are built. It is your first and most important step toward freedom. So we've established that understanding your story is the key. To make this process tangible, and not just an abstract idea, I've created the Debt Origin Story Worksheet to act as your personal guide. But a tool is only useful if you know how to use it. How do you move from just filling out boxes to having a real breakthrough? How do you ensure you're not just listing numbers, but actually finding the narrative hidden within them? That's why, as you can see in this flow diagram, the worksheet breaks the journey into 3 deliberate steps. You start wide with Step 1, the baseline, to gather data. You narrow your focus in Step 2, the timeline, to find patterns. And you finally arrive at the focused point in Step 3, the connection, to find your aha moment. It's a guided journey to your own financial truth. You now know why you need to understand your debt story, and you've seen how the worksheet will guide you through that process step by step. Knowledge without action is useless. You have the framework and the tool, but will you put them to work? Will you take that crucial first step, or will you let this moment of clarity pass? Don't let it pass. Your starting line is right here, and the path is clear. Click the link in the description to download your Debt Origin Story Worksheet and begin your journey to financial freedom. This is your starting line. You've taken a powerful first step today. But real financial freedom isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing journey. Trying to do it all on your own often leads right back to old patterns and that overwhelming feeling we started with. The good news? You don't have to figure it out alone, and you don't have to wait to feel supported. Join our financial freedom community by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Financial Freedom Workshop. Each week, you'll get new step-by-step tools, honest support, and fresh real-life strategies to help you keep moving forward. And if you have questions or want to celebrate a small win, that's what our comments section is for. Hit subscribe now, click the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.